The trailer for the next set has just been dropped and we're going to be breaking it down here in today's video. Before we jump into that, if y'all new here, make sure y'all do subscribe to the channel because I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs and I really appreciate your support in hitting that goal. Let's jump right into these new cards. The first two cards we have, first this Oricorio with 70 HP. It has a 1 fire attack energy called Inspiring Dance that does 10 damage. During your next turn, attacks used by your Pokemon do plus 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's very interesting. So this buffs literally everyone on your side for only 1 fire energy, which is kind of interesting. I like that. That's pretty unique. And then we do also have a new Vanillite variant that's just 60 HP and 1 damage, 20 energy. We really don't care. I'm gonna be honest, Sweets Relay is probably still the way you want to go if you're running this card in the first place. But then again, I don't know what the new Vanillux card is, so we'll have to find out. We gotta look at this full art Falinks. So it has an ability called Coordinated Unit. If you have another Falinks in play, this Pokemon's attacks do plus 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, and this Pokemon takes minus 20 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon, and then it's a 1 energy 20 damage. So if you have 2 Falinks in play, it's gonna get a buff of doing 40 damage for only 1 energy, which is kind of interesting, especially if you throw a Lucario in there. I feel like that could be kind of goated. Before we progress any further, I want to point something out. As you can see from this picture they're showing of the pack here on screen, which by the way is going to include Gardevoir and Ogerpon. This pack is for the B2 set. So we are getting a full set. Like, this is not a mini set. This is a full set, but it's only 1 pack. They've never done this before in Pocket, and it's interesting. It makes me wonder if they're maybe slowing down on the release of packs or if they're running out of ideas. Hopefully they're not running out of ideas, but at least this kind of raises some concerns for me because it's only 1 pack for the next full set. I thought this was going to be B1B, but no, I guess this is just the next full set in Pocket. We do have the Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. It's going to have 130 HP. 2 things to break down here. First, the ability Soothing Wind. Each of your Pokemon that has any energy attached recovers from all special conditions and cannot be affected by any special conditions. I like that a lot. That's very nice. And then it has a 2 energy attack. Energize Leaves that does 60 damage. If the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon is... I actually can't see because there's like a particle here. Let's see if I can go forward like a couple moments. It looks like it's 5. Okay, so if it's 5 or more energy, so the amount of energy has to be 5 or more on both Pokemon, and it'll do 60 damage, or 60 more damage, so go up to 120 damage. Obviously, this can get buffed by a card like Superior, who can double your energy from 2 to 4 immediately, so that might be a good way to run this. Here's this Mimikyu EX. It's going to have 120 HP. It has the ability Disguise, which is nice. I was looking forward to that. When this Pokemon is first damaged by an attack after coming into play, prevent that damage. So basically it gets 1 free hit, and then after that you can actually start doing damage to it, and then it's going to have a 2 Psychic Energy attack that does 70 damage. We have this Ledian card. I'm going to hide my camera for just a moment so we can see the full text, but it is a 1 colorless energy attack called Swift that's going to do 40 damage, and this attack isn't affected by a weakness or by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So kind of interesting. It is a stage 1 as well, so I'm not sure how that's going to work in play. And then we also have a Psychic type Pumpkaboo with 60 HP and just a 1 energy 20 damage attack. We also have this Meloetta card with the ability Strange Singing. At the beginning of your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you put a random Psychic Pokemon from your deck into your hand. So Meloetta is actually quite an interesting support card. I like that one a lot. And then it just has a basic 2 Psychic Energy attack that does 50 damage. And then over on the right, we have Galarian Obstagoon. So for 2 Dark Energy, it has the attack Merciless Strike that does 70 damage. But if they have damage on it already, then it does 50 more damage. So Galarian Obstagoon could be really broken with a card like Darkrai. Now we're getting into some supporter cards. So first we have Diantha. You can heal 90 damage from one of your Psychic Pokemon that has 2 or more Psychic Energy attached. If you healed any damage in this way, discard 2 Psychic Energy from that Pokemon. Definitely very interesting for Psychic support. I don't know how this is going to work out in other decks. Piers is up next, and I'm gonna be honest, this is so toxic. So you can only use this card if you have Galarian Obstagoon in play. You can discard 2 random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. This is definitely not going to be broken at all. And then I'll have my camera again real quick so we can read this card fully because there's not a good way of getting a good shot of it. But this new Sightseer card lets you look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You put all stage 1 Pokemon you find there into your hand and shuffle the other cards back into your deck. I won't lie, I fear this is a little goated. Sightseer going in a lot of decks in the future now. Here's the big reveal. We have our first stadium card called Peculiar Plaza. The retreat cost of each psychic Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent's, is 2 less. And then the rules for stadium cards you can see on the bottom. You may play only one stadium card during your turn, put it next to the active spot, and discard it if another stadium comes into play. A stadium with the same name cannot be played. I'm assuming this is going to be the only stadium card in this set, but I'm sure we're going to get more that drop in the future, but this is quite interesting. My GOAT Mega Mawile EX is up next. It is going to be a 170 HP steel type basic card. It has a 2 energy attack called Heat Up Crunch that does 60 damage, and until this Pokemon leaves the active spot, this Pokemon's Heat Up Crunch attack does plus 30 damage, and this effect stacks. I honestly like this attack a lot. I feel like there's a lot of great ways that you could support this, whether you're running cards like Adamant to take less damage, or if you want to throw in a card maybe like Dusknoir to mitigate all damage that Mega Mawile has taken. Here we have our Mega Gardevoir EX with 210 HP. It is going to be a stage 2 and has a 2 psychic energy attack called Fantasia Force. For 110 damage, it takes 3 psychic energy from your energy zone and attaches it to your psychic Pokemon in any way you like. Very interesting. Mega Gardevoir is a huge psychic type support card. I'm already curious what the best ways are that people are going to pair this. Obviously, I want to know what y'all think, so let me know down in the comments. It does only work on psychic Pokemon, so we can't use it for colorless attacks. We just have to keep that in mind, but definitely still very powerful. But yeah, that's all the cards that we have revealed so far. This set is going to be dropping on Wednesday, January 28th at 5 p.m. Pacific, which is interesting because usually the sets drop at midnight over here in the United States. And so the fact that they're dropping this at an earlier time, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's the new release schedule that they're trying to go based off like a worldwide clock, but I kind of like that. It means that I don't have to wake up at midnight and then be up till 3 in the morning editing a video whenever a new set drops. That's going to be all for this video. Let me know down in the comments which cards you're the most excited about seeing in this new set. Me personally, I'm probably immediately running to make a Mega Mawile deck. If y'all didn't make it this far, make sure you guys also subscribe, because of course whenever this set does drop, I'm going to be opening 100 packs from this set. So if y'all don't want to miss that, then make sure y'all are subbed up so you can see when I do release that video. That's all for me though, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.